part 2 of the Q&A that I put out last week. If this is your first time on my channel, these are questions that I've received on one of my past videos, which I will put a little bubble or link up here to my cat stuff playlist. And on that playlist, you will find my how to make raw cat food video, which is what most of these questions stem from. So make sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below if this is of interest to you, and if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video on how to have the healthiest, happiest cat ever to exist. So let's just get started. Are the vitamins that you use for humans, or are they for cats? So I answered this actually as a comment to the question that I got, but vitamins are vitamins. The comparison I could think of is, you know, spoons or spoons. It doesn't matter if you're using a spoon to eat soup or if you're using a spoon to balance on your nose. That's pretty much what it is for vitamins. So for example, vitamin B12 is vitamin B12. The source may be different, as in, you know, where it's derived from, whether it's like the acetyl or the methyl, but B12 is B12. So it doesn't make it a cat vitamin or a human vitamin, it's just a vitamin. That being said, the vitamins and supplements that I suggest and that I link for the recipe are technically human vitamins. They're also cat vitamins. In a nutshell, you don't have to look for anything that says cat vitamins on it. You just have to look for the vitamin. Next question. Can I use a cat food enhancer instead of the vitamins? I had to look up what a cat food enhancer was because I had never heard of it and had no idea. In my head, I was thinking it must be some kind of like multivitamin blend or something, but a cat food enhancer seems to be like a flavor enhancer, kind of like spices are for human food, except it's a flavor enhancer for cat food that might be bland. So actually, it definitely could not replace the vitamins, because it's like, I don't know, trying to make hot cocoa and replacing the cocoa with oregano or something. That just would not work and provide what needs to be provided. So no, a cat food enhancer, from what I researched it to be, could not replace the vitamins in this raw cat food diet. But I don't see how it could hurt to maybe sprinkle it on the raw cat food a little bit during the transitional part to help them to get to eat it. I actually think it might be pretty beneficial, because from what I looked up, it was just kind of like a fish food flake. There's one specific brand I looked up. I'll leave a link in the description below, but it was like fish food flakes, and you sprinkle it on cat's food if they have a hard time eating, or, you know, some cats are too finicky and older. So that could help during the transitional phase when you're trying to transition your cat from dry food to maybe canned wet food to raw food. At the same time, I also tend to prefer and advocate a minimalist approach when it comes to things. I feel like the less that you have to be dependent on, the better. That way, you know, if you run out of something, or if you're in a place where something might not be available. And I think of this in all things in life, so not just supplements and foods especially, but almost in a survival perspective, like the least that you can do with, the better, to not be as dependent on things, if that makes sense. So relating that to, I'm getting all philosophical, relating that to the raw cat food deal, you want to keep the raw cat food to the basics, and ultimately the goal should be to get it to where your cat eats it and enjoys it as is, without these things you might have to buy or put in it. It's about the bare minimum of the cat food. So I'm kind of torn with the whole cat food enhancer thing. I know the question was just asking if it could replace the vitamins, which the answer is absolutely not, but it may be worth looking into. If you guys want, I can research this a little bit more and see what this cat food enhancer is about, and if it could be beneficial to help you transition your cat to a raw food diet. Just say something in the comments below if you want me to look into that more, and I'd be happy to do it. Next question, what is the ratio of supplements to meat? There is a calculator for this. I will leave it in a link in the description below, but there is a calculator for this on feline-nutrition.org, and basically you put in the weight or the amount of meat that you're using, and it will calculate the rest of the supplements for you that you will need. And it's as easy as that. Next question. How long will this food keep in the freezer? It lasts anywhere from 2 weeks to sometimes like about 20 days, depending on the batch and how much I make and all that stuff. So typically I make it right when he's running out so that it never lasts longer than, let's say, 3 weeks in the freezer. But let's say you're going away, like I travel often, and if I'm gonna go away for a month or have to make more food to have in stock, like some of you may, perhaps you might wanna make a bunch all up front at once, I would say, ooh! Okay, so these are my books right here, strategically placed, I'm not gonna lie. I actually, in the grocery store tour guide, I actually have in here food safety. Here it is. Food safety and storage for animal products. So, any type of ground meat like beef, pork, or poultry can be refrigerated for 1 to 2 days and frozen for 3 to 4 months. I did some pretty heavy research on this, so yeah, it will be good in the freezer for 3 to 4 months. And let's also go ahead and say that this is very helpful, apparently also in the pet category. Next question. Why is my cat refusing to eat the raw food I made? I think I'm gonna make a whole separate video about this. There could be a lot of different reasons, and I'm also going to make a whole separate video on how to transition your cat from dry to wet food, because those are both things that deserve their own lengthier videos and just being a part of this question and answer. Next question. Can I buy pre-made raw food from a private seller in bulk or from the store? You can. They do sell frozen raw cat food and actually raw dog food, but when it comes to fresh, I imagine that would be very, very expensive because it's only good in the fridge, like we just learned, for 1 to 2 days after it's made. So you're likely to find it frozen, but I will tell you that it is very, very expensive compared to what you would pay to make it, and the ones that I have found also don't include all of the supplements and specific things that this recipe does. Before I started making my own raw cat food for Puppy, I bought him this tiny little tub. It was a white frozen tub like this, and it was maybe good for 6 days worth of food. I think it was maybe 24 ounces of food. And that thing costs, I want to say it costs like $18 to $20, if not more, for that little thing for 6 days of food. So you can find it, but just be aware that is the most expensive when it comes to raw cat food. Next question, does this recipe work well for Persians or Turkish Angora as well? This recipe works well for any cat regardless to its breed. It just works well for cats as a species. It's what they're supposed to eat. Do you feed your cat dry food at all? No. I'm going to go over this and why I don't feed my cat any dry cat food in my next benefits video. Okay, I'm gonna apologize if you could tell the camera is a little bit different. My memory card actually got full on my filming camera, so we're gonna do what we gotta do and finish this by recording it on my phone. What are the benefits of a raw food diet for spayed or neutered cats, especially for health and kidneys? The benefit goes across the board, so it doesn't matter if your cat's spayed or neutered or not clipped, or if your cat has 3 legs, or if your cat is like a Sphinx and hairless, or really, really puffy like a Siamese cat, or like a Maine Coon. It doesn't matter, because as long as your cat is actually like a cat and of the feline species, they are going to benefit from this diet. Biologically, it's what they will thrive with and benefit from. And when it comes to health and kidney issues and bladder issues, as most people who already feed their cats a raw food diet can attest to, those issues just completely dissipate. They go away, or they never even happen. So the raw food diet benefits spayed cats, it benefits neutered cats, it benefits all kinds of cats for a whole bunch of reasons. Next question, what is cat acne? So cat acne is, it looks like almost blackheads basically on your cat's chin and around its mouth usually. So those little black dots, that's cat acne. And typically it is from a feeding bowl or water dish or something. Plastics are a culprit very, very often. And this is what I mentioned in a past video. I feed puppy on a porcelain plate. That way, plates are just easier for them to get their food and not get it, you know, all over themselves. And they can lick it clean. It's just easier. But also, not having a plastic casing, even around a metal bowl, just the contact with that casing, even if it's mild, can cause this cat acne to happen. So yeah, cat acne, it's just a skin issue that some cats get, but typically it's due to plastics in the bowls or things like that. So if you feel like your cat has cat acne, try and play around, maybe switch up their feeding bowl or their water bowl or wherever you serve them food, or pay attention to where they might rest their face or their head and what kind of material it is. And if it's something plasticky, see if it helps to switch that out or change whatever you think may be causing it. Last question for this part 2 of the Q&A. Can humans contract cat herpes? Cat herpes is the same as, I think it's conjunctivitis. A sign of it is if your cat gets weepy eyes or stuff around its eyes, which puppy does, which is one of the reasons I add lysine to the food, which is the one ingredient in the recipe for my raw cat food that is optional, is the lysine. That's the only ingredient, and I mentioned that in the how to make raw cat food video. But as for can humans contract cat herpes, happy to say no. You know, thank goodness that it, first of all, doesn't have the same kinds of symptoms as human herpes, but thank goodness that humans can't get it from cats, because that would be interesting. But another interesting thing to add to that is if you do suffer from any kind of herpes, whether it is cold sores or actual herpes, or warts of some kind, or, you know, actually sometimes acne it can help with. You could incorporate lysine, the same lysine that we use in the raw cat food, in your diet by taking 500 to 1,000 milligrams a day, and it will help alleviate the symptoms of any kind of herpes simplex in humans. But one thing's for sure, you did not get your herpes from your cat, so if you're trying to use that as an excuse to tell somebody, you are clearly lying and probably need to find out where you really got it. That concludes the Q&A part 2 of these videos from the past 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry about the camera mishap again, but I guess we're keeping it interesting. Please remember to like this video by clicking down below right here. That helps me put out subjects and videos and content that is actually interesting to you guys and what you want to see. Also, make sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below if you haven't already. Exciting news, I'm gonna have a giveaway at 1,000 subscribers, which will include something from Puppy, from thepuppyshow.com, and something from me and what I actually do for my day job, which is holistic fitness and wellness and helping humans be the best they can. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye. Ooh, real quick, grocery store tour guide, holistic fitness starter guide. This is full of a ton of things. It's great for kids. I think it's great for people going off to college. Of course, the holistic fitness starter guide, which is a breakdown of my approach when it comes to feeling your best, feeling your healthiest. It's on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, that's it.